Folks, I'm gonna teach you the Haxo Gambit, which tricks your opponent into a lot of tricks and can end your opponent quickly. In this Gambit, folks, we go e4, e5, knight to f3, developing one knight and attacking the e5 pawn. If they go knight to c6, we are gonna transpose the game into the Scotch game. Pawn to d4, gambits the pawn on d4. If they take the pawn first on d4, let's look at that about in a moment. So if they take the free pawn, we will actually just go bishop to c4, which is an effective move to attack the pawn on f7. Most commonly, they go bishop to c5, trying to protect that pawn more on d4. We are gonna go pawn to c3, attacking and challenging that pawn again on d4 that was defended by the bishop a while ago. And so, folks, as you can see, it's being attacked by some of the pieces. So, there's no choice but again to take on c3. We will actually just not take the pawn with a knight. We're not just gonna develop and take the pawn. We are gonna sacrifice the bishop. Why? Because after we take the pawn on f7, we literally made them move their king. And so, in fact, that they cannot castle anymore, we are gonna go queen to d5, attack the king once again on f7, but also forking the bishop on c5. Really clever way to fork things, because now the king cannot castle, and now the king is exposed on this side of the board. If they go here, that is a great advantage to them. We are so lucky to have this. This is taking with check. But if they don't move that, maybe they go e8. We will go queen to h5. They will try to block with a pawn. With that being said, we're gonna take back the bishop. As you can see, this is effective with a pawn being here, because if they take our free pawn on b2, well, folks, and in this game, folks, most naturally, your opponents will actually go d6. And a lot of people actually do that, and funnily enough, most of the people do that in the database. So we will go and take the pawn on c3. They will go knight to f6, likely developing their knight, trying to gain tempo and win this game. But folks, we're gonna calmly castle with the king on g1 and involving the rook. After they go rook here on f8, seeing that we're attacking the knight on f6 and protecting it, well then folks, we will go bishop to h6. And actually a lot of people do this, and it's a really big mistake, because we are gonna go bishop to h6, and after that we're attacking the rook. And so now what the idea is, if they go here, we will go knight to g5, attacking the rook once again on f7 and the pawn on h7. It's a double fork, and so if they go rook to d7, we will go rook to e1. Some people go here, which is very aggressive. What they disregard is that the fact that this is mate. They go here, we are gonna go queen here, they will go here, and this is mate. Folks, I have showed you how to mate in 17 with this opening and narrowly a fork. There are a lot of bridges and lines in this opening. So what if they go knight to f6 instead of taking the pawn on c3? It's not take the pawn, but castle. If we take the pawn, they could go bishop here, which would literally make a counter trap for us. So we're not gonna do that, but instead castle. This threat is renewed, and so they cannot do this anymore. And so they have to take the pawn on c3, or else their pawn will be taken and we will have the big center in the board. We will go and push the e5 pawn, and now we're gonna attack the knight on f6, having so much space in here while also having very good open files here. And so folks, this is what really makes it advantageous, because if they go knight to g4, aggressively retreating here, folks, we are gonna go bishop takes f7. That sacrifice leads to the same line, because after they take, we go here, queen here. That's a fork. And if they go back, we're just gonna take. You could go there with the queen on d5, but there is knight to g5. And so we're gonna go here and check the king. And after that, they will most likely go here since they are safe. And according to the database, most people will go there. As you already know with this reaction, this is a trap. Not only a trap, the only square they can go to is f8. And that is very bad for them, because if they go f8, this is mate. I have shown you mate in 11 in this line, which is quite crazy. In this line, folks, what if they go knight to f6? We will go knight to g5, having this fork on the king later on, and the queen and the rook. If they go pawn to d5, which will they likely do, like in the fried liver covering up the attacks of the bishop on f7, well, they're wrong. Because after we take the pawn, they will take back. They have seen that we won the trade if we take this knight, which we will not. And surprisingly enough, in this position, we will confuse our opponent by sacrificing our knight on f7. And if they take our knight on f7 and queen to f3, having the advantage, and we're just gonna take the knight after that, and the king is very exposed. We're just gonna castle later on after this one. There's something really weird going on here. Because after we take, there is actually a better move in play after black plays here. Check attacking the knight. Not only that, if he takes the knight, he defends the knight yet again. So folks, instead of taking the pawn on f7, this cannot work anymore. Believe it or not, you can just do this over here, and this is also attack, so you cannot do anything about this if you're black. But if you're white, this is crazy. You should try it if you're white. Anyways, we'll go to the other lines, e4, e5, and with the same lines, folks, we have the last line, or maybe not the last line. I will have some more lines after this. Pawn to h6. This kind of prevents our attacks. But after we castle and involve the rook in, they have two options. They can go knight to f6, bishop to c5. If they go knight to f6 in the first place, we will just go and push. So, most people go bishop to c5, trying to avoid from the push of the pawn from being attacked from the knight on f6. And so folks, if they go bishop to c5 and develop their own pieces, they protect their pawn on d4. And so we will go and gambit again on c3. There's something different in this game because of the fact that we already castled our king, and so if they take our pawn over here, which a lot of people do, we will take the pawn on f7, sacrifice yet again. If they take, we will go and fork them. And now, if they go back, we don't go here because this doesn't work. But instead, we will take the bishop on c5. And so, folks, we will just win this position. And if they take the pawn on b2, taking another free pawn, this might be very too aggressive for your opponent. And the next lines we will play, if they go and develop their knight on f6, we will just go and push the pawn on e5, attack their knight. And we will just go attack. With so much open lines for a rook, we can literally just demolish the king by bulldozing them with the rooks. And so, folks, I think those are all the lines. I think I have not missed one line, right? Right? After saying all of those lines, thank you everyone for watching. And if you learned something, please subscribe and like. And if you subscribe, I would literally be encouraged to make more videos like this. We have already reached 500 subscribers, and that's what I'm really happy for. Thank you guys for subscribing so much more in this channel. Thank you guys for supporting me. I don't know, or maybe hating me. I don't know. Anyways, if you don't like the video, dislike the video, and if you like the video, please like the video. I don't care if you what button you choose. See you in the next video. Peace out.